Welcome to the Alpine Church of Spiritual Living this morning. I am going to be reading the thought for the week, and if you're in the room, you can join me as we get down to the bottom in the bold area. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder is a common phrase. It is true. It is a common human characteristic to look out onto the world and see what we expect to see. When I worked at the insurance agency, I remember opening the mail one day and placing a Christmas card on top of the file cabinet where we displayed them. I thought the scene on the card was unusual, for it had a captivating essence about it. One of my coworkers looked at the card and said, "That's just ugly." I replied that I thought it was interesting and even could be seen as beautiful. Needless to say, we agreed to disagree. Two people can look at the same thing. One can see beauty and the other ugliness. It all depends on their perspective. I think it's a valuable quality to be able to look at anything and be able to see the beauty in it. Beauty is a divine quality, as is order, love, and power. There is an infinite warmth, color, and charm and grace associated with beauty. How does it make you feel if you were to say, "I am beautiful"? Like my coworker, you might strongly disagree. I'm not talking about surface beauty. I'm talking about the divine quality of beauty that flows through each of us as we allow the presence of the living Spirit to be revealed through us. How we view ourselves, others, and the world creates our experiences. Why not choose to see with the eyes of the divine? Rather than seeing division and separation, choose cohesion and unity. Rather than seeing what's wrong, take a breath and look for grace. It's a matter of changing perspective and expectations. As we consciously do this, our world changes around us. We become more open, loving, and free. We are always a choice. The divine is waiting in quiet repose to be felt, recognized, and experienced. Say with me, "I am beautiful, and I am surrounded by beauty. Divine grace flows to and through me, and for this I am ever so grateful." And it is so. Well, as we are focusing in this month of June on the attribute of beauty, I want to encourage all of you to feel the joy of being beautiful. Feel that joy of being beautiful, being beauty in action. I think that the human experience, that the reason we're here, is to emulate, to experience, to bring into life the qualities that we are in spirit form. And so when we have our focus this month on beauty, to look around you, in the world around you, and especially today, look within and acknowledge and bring forth the beauty that is within you. As I put in the thought for the week, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And so it is our choice to see beauty or not. It all depends on how we look at it, our perspective. I went on the internet and was looking at pictures of perspective, and it looks like people are hanging off a cliff, by a thin nail. And then when I looked at it closer, I thought, oh, no, they're actually lying on a flat surface. It just depends on how you turn your head and change your view of what you're looking at. How many times can we do that in life where we are just so adamant that, yes, this is the way it is. I know I am right. There is no other option that can happen here. And then later we find out, oh, I guess there was another way to look at it. There was another option. There was another thing that is a gray area. It's not all black. It's not all white. This life that we are living has lots and lots of different tiny little angles that we can choose to live from, to see from. As we have been talking in our book studies on more than one occasion, the question will come up, when we are in spirit form and we are in this beautiful union with the One, why do we choose to come back to earth and condense this energy that we are into this body? Why do we do that to ourselves? And I think it's because we are here to broaden our individual consciousness in this physical realm by means of relationship with others, by means of learning, growing, evolving, expanding our awareness, our consciousness. And this is an infinite game that we are playing here. Granted, we're going to be coming and going, or who knows, on this earth plane. And wherever we are, I believe that it is up to us to anchor ourselves in the knowledge that we are living from this infinite being, and to be comfortable with it. To know that I can look at something from a different angle and not be worried about it. I believe that we can look at anything and anyone and see beyond the surface to the grace, to the charm that is there. Some of you in this room, I think, remember Garrett Knipe. And Garrett was one of our folks that would come to church, and he emulated to me beauty, not on the exterior, not whatsoever. In fact, I was going to grab his picture. He has since gone on to another realm. He graduated, but to show you, but because he's on our memorial wall in the office. But he had a cancer removed in his throat when he was 18, a tumor, and they nicked a nerve and created half of his face was paralyzed. So his eye didn't move, his lip didn't move, and to look at him physically, you certainly wouldn't say, oh, this is a beauty. But I'll tell you what, his energy and essence was amazing. We met in a theater group for performing arts, PATH, performing arts theater for the handicapped, and quickly found out that he had lots of energy and lots of talent. And we lived in the same town, so because he didn't drive, he had lots of other conditions. He shook a lot. It was hard for him to write. He couldn't drive. But it didn't stop him from doing all these things. He was a clown, and loved to tell jokes. And he would mostly, when he started telling a joke, he couldn't get through it without cracking himself up first. So it was, you couldn't get to the punchline, with a straight face, because he'd just be laughing. He was also could do voices, and he did maybe about 50 different voices and things that he would imitate, people that he could sound like. And so I just look at him and know, boy, now that was an example of shining your beauty from within out. And just an amazing individual. I also remembered thinking that when I was 19 years old, I worked at the Broadway at Grossmont. And I'm pretty sure it was called Newberry's, was next door. And it had a little fountain. It had a counter, like a lunch counter. And that's where I went to get my lunch when I worked. And I would sit at that lunch counter, and I can remember watching this waitress that just was poetry in motion. There was not one wasted move of energy with this young woman. And I would just sit there enthralled watching how she took the orders and served the food. And I just thought, wow, that was a woman who was just in her element, being fully present to what was happening. And I believe that that's one of the things that can help all of us be able to share the beauty that is within us, is when we go and recognize that wherever I'm at, this is where life is happening. And to reserve our judgments, especially our negative judgments. I'm doing it wrong, I'm not doing it good enough, the talk that we give ourselves. And recognize and give thanks for the beauty that we are, for the love that we are, for the essence that we are to share in this community that we call our world. I wanted to share with you something too we're in a new facility. Can you tell from the background on this that we're in the sanctuary today? And I didn't grab the little book that I wanted, so let me get it. Because remember, how many times how many of you in this room have your own copy of Opening Doors Within that we gave away? Anybody not get one? Okay. Well, today's message is perfect for, how many of you read today's? There's a few hands going up. Okay, well, if you haven't read it, you get to hear it now because it just fits so perfectly. It's amazing. The beauty of life is everywhere around you. Open your eyes and see it, absorb it, appreciate it, reflect it, and become a part of it. When you expect to see beauty, you will see it, whereas when you expect to see ugliness, you will do so. The choice is always yours. Drink deeply from the fountains of beauty, and you cannot help reflecting it, for what is within is reflected without. You are like a mirror. You cannot hide that which is within you, no matter how hard you may try to do so, for that which is within cannot be contained. Sooner or later, it will express itself in the outer world. Therefore, let it flow freely. Never try to stop that flow. Raise your consciousness, and you will be able to see beauty in everything and everyone. You will see me reflected there, for I am beauty, harmony, and perfection. Learn to express that beauty and harmony in everything you think, say, and do. When we draw it from within, we can see it expressed without. I honestly believe that we are here to be the expression of all these qualities of love and joy and peace, and we do it in our own way. There's a lot of things going on in the world right now that we judge as not right. We would like it different. Wars, inflation, things that we would rather not experience. We can choose to complain, or we can choose to do something about it, or not do something about it. I was in the grocery store the other day behind a woman who was buying in bulk several items, like 10 peanut butters and 10 jellies and 10 boxes of mashed potatoes. And I asked her if she was purchasing these for a particular event or something, because there was a big quantity of these things. And she said, "Oh no, for my church. People are having a hard time buying groceries now. So we're providing." So if there's something that you your perspective, from your perspective, that you don't like, that you don't think is right, is there something you can do about it? Is there something that you are called from within to share from this self that you are for the betterment, for the service of others? That is beauty in expression. I want you to think about the possibilities, the endless possibilities. Remember, we heard the song earlier, Imagine. Imagine a world with no boundaries. It's easy if you try. I know that you've got that song running through your head, because we're all very familiar with it. And there's another song that keeps running through my head as we look about this topic today especially, and I wanted to share it with you. I'm not going to sing it because I'm not going to sing it, but I can share the lyrics. Jesus loves the little children, all the children of the world. Black and yellow, pretty yellow, black and white, they are precious in his sight. Jesus loves the little children of the world. You know the song that this is going to be? Everything is beautiful in its own way, like a starry summer night on a snow-covered winter's day. And everybody's beautiful in their own way. Under God's heaven, the world's going to find a way. There is none so blind as he who cannot see. We must not close our minds. We must let our minds be free. For every hour that passes by, you know, the world gets a little bit older. It's time to realize that people lies in the eyes of the beholder. And everything is beautiful in its own way, like a starry summer night on a snow-covered winter's day. And everybody's beautiful in their own way. Under God's heaven, the world's going to find a way. We shouldn't care about the length of his hair or the color of his skin. Don't worry about the shows from without, but the love that lives within. And everybody's beautiful in their own way, like a starry night on a snow-covered winter's day. Change your perspective to look for and find and experience and feel and give the beauty that is within and all around you this day and every day. Namaste.